Morning, everybody. 8:25 a.m. It's May 18th. Welcome to my channel. Of course, we have some news. All right. Now, Friday, the markets, particularly S&P 500, gapped down. But then, what do you know it? Technology was relatively stronger. So, obviously, the Nasdaq was relatively stronger. Came up and it filled its gap. ES did not fill its gap, and I'm talking about a range gap. Okay. I don't use the close in futures. And then we rolled over. I was short initially, and I got what I wanted. Got about 20 something points excursion, and then it hit my break even. Pretty much was done for the day and just kind of walked away. And then later on, I saw the market, because the market internals were market cap weight wise were not very weak, but the overall markets were not the strongest. But remember, S&P 500 is a market cap weighted index, so if technology, which is about 37% of the weighting, is up, you're not going to have the markets go down. Okay? It did deteriorate towards the end of the session, but to basically be a little above off the open. Remember, I track it from off the open, not from the previous day's close. So money came in to technology off the open. Everything else is pretty much red, besides energy. Okay? And so the bond market is what I talked about on Friday morning. 30-year bonds are over 5% yield. Haven't been there since, I believe, 2007. Okay? 10-year yield is right now 4.59. Okay? When 30-year bonds go at over 5, 10-year yields start to approach 5, that is going to start to weigh on our markets. Right? Right now, the Middle East is not solved. Okay? I know Trump posted something on Truth Social about time's ticking, but maybe he underestimated his opponent because they don't get bullied. That's why this thing is just hanging around, right? And then supposedly, I think they attacked UAE with some drones. So that's keeping oil up, right? Inflation went up, right? The PPI, CPI, specifically PPI. Now, that PPI was way over expectations, and the PPI usually leads the CPI. Right? So oil cannot just stay up at $100 a barrel. Okay, now the bond market is selling off, causing yields to go higher. Okay, now this week, specifically, I believe the 20th, is NVIDIA's earnings. Now, earnings are a wild beast sometimes. Okay, even when NVIDIA beats its numbers, it's expected to. So can this be a sell the news? Right? I don't know. The market will tell us. All right. And what we have going on right now is price action, a little reminiscent of last Friday. I talked about it last Friday that the price action was very crowded, and it wasn't going to be easy for the market to go up or for the market to go down, specifically on the 74.35 level. and that was support initially in the ES on Friday. It held that level. It held the previous week's highs. And then at the end of the session, it broke it. And then still held it until we opened up on Sunday. Pushed down right to the month to date anchored VWAP 7381s. What does that mean? Right? Month to date anchored VWAP shows you the average buyer, the average price for the month, right? Well, as long as my anchored VWAP stays green, you know buyers are in control. So it bounced off that month to date anchored VWAP, and some Iran sanctions being waived by U.S. kind of just pushed the market up a little bit. So it's Monday. I'm not expecting much. Typical Monday. All right. Now, morning. I've had allergies for the third day in a row. I think it's allergies. But something's getting to me. So if you hear me sniff or something, I apologize. But I've been in allergy hell. Okay. Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the markets. Long supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. That's how I come up with game plans. Now, once that market opens up, I use market internals. That shows me what's going on under the hood of the market, specifically off the open. Okay? Along with that, I look at the weekly expected move indicator I give for free for Thinkorswim, where stocks usually close within the expected move 70% of the time. Also use gamma flip points. Those are pivot points and delineate positive gamma and negative gamma. Excuse me. When you're generally in positive gamma, it's a buy the dip and sell the rip. Okay? The market tends to just most likely trend. Now, negative gamma is when volatility kicks up. Market makers and dealers have to short with the market, which causes wider swings in price action. We were in negative gamma on Friday. Okay? Particularly 741 in SPY was your gamma flip point. It was battling that all day. Closed below it. SPX and QQQ were negative gamma. Now, we had OPEX on Friday, so now it resets. Okay? So, I throw ICT and Smart Money in there as well. It's basically my own proprietary system. Okay? Now, if you want to join me, every day I do this, subscribe, set that alert. All right? Give you the market news, the economic counter, leaders and laggers, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios at the end of the stream. If you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Now, let's get into the futures watch list here. VIX is up 1%. 30-year bonds are flat. Remember, bonds get sold, yields go up. Right now, 30-year bonds are flat, but they're at 5% yield. Okay. Gold is flat, Nasdaq flat, Russell flat, ES down slightly. So the market has recovered. 10-year yield down. So silver's moving around on me here. All right, 10-year yield. 10-year yield's down. The dollar is down slightly. Dow is down. Right now, market's moving around on me. I'm down. Dow is down 0.22. Dollar down 0.25. Crude actually down now a 0.5%. It's at $100 a barrel. Bitcoin is down 2%. Ethereum down 3.41. Mag 7 here. NVDA is getting low today, up 1.5%, followed by AMD up a half. Who's lagging? Tesla down 0.80. Meta down 0.81. Coinbase, the Bitcoin proxy, down 1.14%. Let's look at the top sector stocks here. Micron. Okay, Micron's up 2.20%. Semi. PepsiCo. Boeing. Home Depot reports earnings this week. That's been taking a ride down. Okay, Palantir down 0.44. Oracle down 0.67. United Healthcare. Don't know why that's down. 3.16%. Back under $400. Okay. Is there a reason for that? Let's see here. No. Alrighty. Let's look at sectors. So, semiconductors getting love this morning. Up 0.74. Technology up 0.31. Utilities up 0.21. Okay. Financials, basic materials, discretionary, healthcare is the laggard today. Down 0.40. That's what United Healthcare. Okay. Now, also, what was revealed over the weekend, President Trump stocks that he purchased, causing a little controversy. Okay. Because he purchased, I believe, Intel. I believe ServiceNow. I could be wrong about that, but it's out there. Check it out. All right, let's look at the economic calendar for the week. So today, I've never seen that before. Fed Venable, 8:30. NHAB Housing Market Index at 10 a.m. Okay. What else do we have? Fed Waller speaking on Tuesday. Pending home sales. API crude. Wednesday, 30-year mortgage. Crude inventories. Oh, we have FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Thursday, initial jobless claims. Bunch of PMI numbers. Friday is Michigan consumer sentiment final. Fed Waller speaking at 11 a.m. on Friday. But Wednesday is NVIDIA's earnings. That is a big day. All right. Let's now headlines here. See buckling global bonds in focus. Some shares jump. I already went over that kind of news. Okay. Now the markets are moving up a little bit, so let's see if this is the reason. Leaks to AI Arabia about the modified paper. Iran wants a long, multi-stage truce. Iran demands a gradual and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran agrees to long-term nuclear freeze instead of full dismantling. Unconditional transfer of enriched uranium to Russia instead of America. All right, so the market seems to be liking this. That's why crude is moving down. Okay. Right now, 30-year bonds are being bought as I speak. Does this pan out? I don't know. This says it's a leak. So, right now, a multi-stage truce opening up a freeze on nuclear. Obviously, market's going to like that. Hence, we're back at the most traded price of the week, 74.35 again. Okay. So that's what's going on there. Trump's schedule today looks a little light. I mean, he came back from China. Let's look at some more news here. How Trump's crypto venture in Iran's top exchange tapped into the same industry networks. Interesting. This is according to data analyzed by Reuters. Iran's Novatex exchange has processed at least 2.3 billion since 2023 on Tron and BNB chain, blockchains established respectively under crypto billionaires Justin Sun and Changpeng Zhao, users of Tron and BNB chain, paying fees to use the blockchains would serve as secure, tamper-resistant record keepers. Sun and Binance, the crypto exchange owned by Zhao, are both prominent backers of World Liberty Financial, the crypto firm co-founded by Trump and his family. White House gets small rare earth win, but China's export regime is here to stay. Tesla's Musk expects widespread use in the U.S. of cars without human monitors this year. Trump tells Fortune he should have asked for bigger Intel stake. U.S. President Donald Trump said he should have asked for more of a stake in Intel on behalf of the U.S. government. Anthropic to brief global financial watchdog on cyber flaws exposed by Mythos. Artificial intelligence startup Anthropic is set to brief the Financial Stability Board on cyber vulnerabilities in the global financial system identified by its latest AI model Mythos. The Financial Times reported citing people familiar with the plan. Okay. Before the bell, U.S. stock index futures edged lower as a fresh drone tax in the Gulf shoved oil prices and treasury yields higher, stoking inflation worries. Okay, but now we know we just got this truce leak that's now having the markets turn positive, sending yields lower, crude lower. So right now, market likes it. But we all know by now this doesn't mean anything. But the markets like it. Okay? Let's see if there's any other news. Nope. I think right now it's a good shot to look at credit spreads. And to see here, credit spreads are still not showing any worry. Okay? They're just not. Pretty interesting. They're just not showing a care in the world. Okay? So that's what you want to need. Once you get over 4, that should make the market worry, even though the bonds market is up to 5 yield. Okay? Remember I was talking about the Fed watch that we're actually pricing in hikes in December, which is crazy. Okay? We went over this. Okay? And if you look at December, this is our current rate. That's a 39% of a rate hike in December. That is pretty crazy. Okay? That is pretty crazy. So, real quick, let's look at how breadth finished. Go with the faster moving average first. Okay, breadth definitely took a hit. 36% over the 20-day simple moving average. Okay, once we get in down here, you're going to get into oversold territory. Let's go to the slow moving average, the 50-day. That degraded also 44% above the 50-day moving average. Now we'll just go over let's see here. All right, that degraded as well. 49% on buy signals. And we'll just look at the NDX. Oop, not MPX, NVX. That also degraded a little bit. 50% on buy signals there. Now remember what I said, tech was driving off the open. Let's just look at technology sector. That degraded a little bit. Not that much. Okay. Like I said, everything else was degrading. Let's just look at new highs versus new lows. Let's go to the NICE. kind of same readings, right? More stocks making new lows than highs. That's basically it. But it kind of matches the other readings. All right. That will be it there. Let's go to internally. Remember, this is my little bread and butter here. So, SPX above here. And the internals, right? Notice the green here. This was up over 1% at one point. Just driving. And it went right here. And then shot up. Like I said, almost hit the previous day's lows. But then, the canary in the coal mine was this negative exchange over 2,000. Whenever you have the Nasdaq exchange over 2,000, even though I know we gapped, which is going to make that number worse, it's never really a great thing. Even if it's a gap, it stayed there. And then look, came right back down near the lows. Now, futures broke these lows, but obviously the SPX closes. So just was not strong. So when we were here, I shorted right in here in the futures, and I got this, and I was like, if we break the 74.35s, which I talked about pre-market, we should fall. However, tech was just a thorn in the side. If tech was weak, boy, we would have sold off big time. Now the markets are pumping right now. All right, so we'll get to that. Let's look at daily charts now. So in the grand scheme, okay, look what we did. Made all-time highs. And what did we do? Found support at the previous week's highs. Right? So we still were positive for the week. Never touched the 9 EMA daily. Where are we today? It's right now. 740 90s. Look at that. We're in the middle, pretty much, of Friday. So this is where it's very hard to be a swing trader in these markets. There's a lot of headline risk, right? If you thought our markets were going to fall apart after Friday's close, which would be a normal reaction because of the bond market, you're not liking what's happening right now, right? And that's why this market's nuts. All right. Now, if we were down here, so who knows what we're gonna do here? Let's look at futures. So notice what we did in futures. Okay. Very important to look at this. These are dailies. Look, we took out this low, putting in some buying excess here. Now you're back inside this little range. You're up here. Now, there is a daily supply here. There is a daily supply zone, so I'm going to put that on my chart. Let's put that, because that's going to be important. Those are not easy to cut through. Just make sure I have it accurately. Okay, and we can change this color. Okay, so that's daily supply. Starts around 74.70s. So I would expect to get some resistance there. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, actually, let me just change this properties to be we'll just go here. let's see how that market reacts to this price. Okay. Now, Qs. Semis are up 1.5% right now, folks. Okay. Let's just see where this lines up here. We'll put this also. Okay, so what did Qs do? Qs actually had a negative, little bit of a week, I believe, or I don't see the Friday's close. Let's see here. So we closed here. Yeah, that was a little bit negative on the week. Closed inside the previous week's range, right? Remember, I had a lot of money flows come into it. Where are we now? 713. Jeez. Now you're in the upper third of Friday's range. Let's go to futures. Look where we went, folks. Look at that daily demand zone. Notice how we just dipped our toe in it? Whoop. Then you have a daily supply zone here now. So, what's going to happen here? I don't know. I really don't. All right, let me get rid of that. I'll just do a new one. And so once I put this on, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to bode well for markets. It's going to make it choppy. Okay, let's change the color. So now that there's a daily supply and a daily demand, that's going to make our markets very choppy. Okay, maybe this is setting up another balance area. I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll keep those on our charts. Actually hit the 9 a.m. daily this morning, right here. So keep those on your charts. Okay, anytime you get a little candle like this, followed by explosive, that's a demand zone. Same thing here. Look, explosive little candle, explosive move down. So these areas, overhead supply and demand, look, come in, buying happens. I probably would expect some selling to happen here. Okay, let's look at the 10-year yield. Let's look at that 10-year yield. Now look, it spiked up here, and now with this little latest news, its yields have come lower, right? Let's look at the 30-year. 30-year yield is at, right now, 4.95. I mean, this chart is horrendous looking. Okay. Did come up to 5. Wait, where is this? What am I looking at here? Am I not in the right? Sorry. Yeah, see, we're up into the 5s. It's probably a better chart. I wonder if there's a better looking chart there. Let's see here, 30-year. I'm just going to see if there's a... All right. Not going to spend too much time on this. Basically, yields are higher. All right. We don't have to get into too much details of it. Okay. Here's a good old shot of NVDA prior to earnings. Okay. Now we're going to get into the hourly charts here. Just had a nice rise. So here's your hourly charts here. Okay, so lots of overhead supply here, like I showed you on the daily. All right, stacked supply zones on top of each other. We just came into this supply zone and a bearish FEG right here, this purple box. Okay, I just made sure to put this trend line on my charts. Now, will the market keep hitting this and selling off and selling off and selling? I don't know. Okay, but I tell you one thing, I'm not excited about a long here. Now, what's your marker? 74.35 is your most traded price of the week. Okay, acceptance below it is more bearish. Acceptance above it is more bullish. So all you really need to know. So in the near term, we are trending lower, right? Here's your trend line. And then if you just go like this, swing high, swing high, swing high, right? You don't have this is a swing high, but you just took that out. But this one, around the 74, 75s, that's what I would really count if you broke that. Okay? So let's see. What does our market do? Now you do have some explosive candle here. Now, what I said on Friday was the price action was very crowded here, which was going to cause the market to do this, which it did. Okay, and then it took a while to resolve it, right? When markets have poor structure like this, right, they eventually get what? Cleaned up. And that's what this price action did. And then we just went up. So now you have kind of this candle can get pushed back down. Okay, so let's see what happens. Definitely not excited about a long here. It's going to have a tough go of it to go higher. Of course, markets can do whatever they want. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ. Now, remember, I said semis are now up 1.75% currently. Okay, let's throw a little trend line on here. I didn't do that. Okay, there's that trend line. Okay, now, most traded price of the week happened to be Friday's most traded price. Let's call it 293's area. Again, look at that 293 as a little bit of a bull bear line. Okay? Look at that, right? Now, the market was holding under it. Now we're back above it. About to challenge the trend. Now again, remember what I said. These bullish FEGs signify poor structure. Look what the market did. It pretty much cleared them out. And this is what I was eyeing on Friday. I was like, oh, if this goes up here and that's a short, it should clean all of this up. But guess what? It did it in the overnight. Sunday's overnight session. Right? Great. So I'm going to remove that. Okay. And so now where are we? In supply, right? Remember I said there's a daily supply zone. Hence, my little supplies all equal up to that. Okay? Now we just had a new hourly close right at this trend line. Right? So let's see what happens. Right? Let's throw a volume profile on here. Let's just go from, we can go from here. Notice the most traded price, right? 293s. Lot of volume here. Now you're hitting a trend. Okay? Don't know what's going to happen. Let's make this shorter to just this action. Right? Most traded price is still up here and here. Gonna hit that trend line. So we'll see. Now you have, depending on how this candle closes, you might have another bit of poor structure here that can take and push this back down. Okay? Now, this is off some positive news of a truce. So who knows what's going to happen here? I'll always tell you, I don't know. I'd be lying to you. I'd be a snake oil salesman if I told you I knew what was going to happen. I'd never know. Hence why I give scenarios, right? Why would I box myself in to hold on to a short or a long? It just doesn't make sense. You got to flow. Okay? So let's get into market profile, buying profile. I can give you some scenarios here. I'm starting to think maybe these allergies are not allergies and I actually have a cold, because I don't know if I should have 3 days in a row of allergies, but all right, let's look at ES. Alrighty. It's your market profile and your volume profile. And this is your ES. Notice we're in supply. Okay? Let's break out the session. We were gapping down. We're no longer. But look at that crowded action there. That makes it not easy if we come down here, cut through that. Unless there's news. Okay, unless there's news. So, let's get into the long and short trade scenarios in the ES. Mark off some level. Well, 74.35. Remember I said it's a bull bear line, right? And look, you have an equal low down here to 73.75s. That could be a draw on liquidity. Just means the market can be a magnet for the market to break it. Okay? We are in supply right now. So, remember we have a trend line as well to stay in the near-term downtrend. Obviously, overall, our markets are in an uptrend. And again, what is it going to be about? Technology today. Does semis get a lift? Does the market like Trump's investments to maybe make it go, if he's investing, he must know something. Also, NVDA's earnings, right? So, let's get into it. Remember, I said, even with this, I am more going to lean short. I don't, like, this is a very hard push up here. So, let's start off with shorts. Now, we are in supply already. That supply zone is a pretty wide one. Okay, that is from 74.37 to 74.75. Okay, so currently we're at the midpoint of Friday. What do I want to see? Well, any manipulation up here to sweep the overnight highs, or just to drive below 74.35s and a retest of 74.35. If I see money is not into tech and semis, this is probably going to make me want to short. I'm going to target that equal low at the 73.75s. Okay? Now, below that is last week's lows, 73.63. If you break that, okay, we do have an unfilled gap below us. I don't know if today's the day, Monday. but there is an unfilled gap. The top of that gap, let's give you that number. Top of that gap is 73.27. Roughly 72.99 is the gap fill. Okay, you can call that 7,300. Do we eventually make it there? Usually gaps get filled. Who knows? I don't know. All right. Now, there is an overlapping supply zone. That starts at 74.63, goes to 74.87. So, this is Friday's highs. So, I wouldn't say I would love price to come up, but if it came up here fast, took out Friday's highs, and you get a quick rejection back, and maybe the market doesn't have enough steam behind it to really have money flows go anywhere, you get a lower high, you short that, targeting 74.35, maybe hold a runner and try to hit the 73.75s. Okay? This has to be quick. I don't want the market to get strength and then malaise up there. Then I don't want to short it. Okay? Let's go with longs. Longs are not easy. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about a short push up. That could be viable. You are in a supply zone. Remember, we have those daily supply and daily demand. Like I said, not easy to just push through. Okay? But we do have this key level. Now, the more you work yourself into a supply zone, you kind of work it off a little bit. It's kind of like you're chopping it down a little bit. Okay? So I like this. All right? So what would I want to see? Let's say we drive, take out the overnight highs, but then we get some quick pullback to where 74.35, the most traded price of the week, the most traded price of Friday. Even if it momentarily dips below it, well, you want to see it reclaimed, retest 74.35. You go long and you target 74.75 Friday's highs. Now, remember that I said there's a lot of overhead supply. So that could be it. Now, if something happens, there is some poor structure up here where you could take yourself to 7,500. Okay? I really want to see a lot of this supply worked off before then, but let's see. Remember, where the market goes, where tech goes. Now, if we do fall below 74.35, and this is a quick, oh boy, you're like, whoa. I don't think it will be because of the price action, but let's say it is more quick. Take out that equal low, 73.75, and you tap into last week's highs, last week's lows, 73.63s. If you sweep it, reclaim it, right? Put in a higher low, target 74.35s. Then that will just tell us, all right, this market's not ready to roll over. Okay? Now, if the market malaises down here, which it has a good shot, I probably not a good long. Probably not a good long. Okay? Now, let's look at the NASDAQ. Okay. Remember, daily supply in the NASDAQ as well has a tough road up. Okay? Has a tough road up. Let's look at open it up. Remember, the key level in the NASDAQ, let's get into scenarios first. So this is the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ, is your 293. Remember, that's your mini bull bear line. That's the most traded price of the last week and on Friday. Okay, a mini win here that the market is above it. Okay, that's going to be where we judge strength. Okay, so let's just get right into the long and short trade scenarios in your NASDAQ. So starting off with shorts, okay, this can happen a number of ways. You could take out the overnight highs, sweep it, come back down. I want to see how it handles 293s. If you break it, find acceptance underneath it, retest 293s, that's a short. You're going to target 29089s, Friday's lows, followed by overnight lows, 28924s. Okay? If this breaks, you probably have a decent shot down to the 28741s, last week's lows. Same as before, if you do go up and tap Friday's highs, there's still a ton of supply up here. Okay? If you quickly reverse that, make a lower high, you target 293s. Maybe hold the runner to try to get the overnight lows, the 28924s. As far as the long, it's very similar here today. Okay? We, right now, are above the 293s. Now, in the 24 hours, I didn't mention this, but this is an ultimate balance level. In 24 hours, 293 has been the most traded price of the month and of the week. Hence, that makes it even more powerful. Okay? So, what if we come down? Let's say we push, break overnight highs, fail, come down to 293s, test it, even maybe go below it, reclaim it, hold 293s. That's a long. You target Friday's highs, 29487s. Okay? Now, you still have a ton of overhead supply here. Really depends on what that catalyst is driving it, how much money flow is going to technology and semis. Okay? But this is still a nice trade. I would say cautiously hold a runner. I don't think you're going to have much luck, but you never know. Okay? Conversely, if the market somehow was to rip very quickly down the 293s and test the overnight lows here, 28924s, right? This would need to be quick. Now, like I said in the ES, I don't think this will be quick down here. However, if it is, I really want to watch the market. If tech is really not that weak, you sweep that low, make a higher low, and try to go back to 293, the ultimate balance level. Okay? That is it, folks. Now I'm going to give you my outlook. What's the story? So, ES. Right? We already had a mini sell-off in the overnights. Right? Shorts tried to push us lower, failed. We just had positive news. Crude is down. Okay? 30-year bonds are being bought. Who knows what's going to happen here? What I know is we're in a short-term downtrend. We have overhead supply, specifically daily. I think a harder move is up for right now. So I'm going to lean short today, under the 74.35s. All right? I'm probably going to look to short. It's Monday, and there's a lot of crowded price action at the overnight lows area. I don't think we smash through it without some kind of news. So I already know that. Doesn't make me excited. Okay? Now, your NASDAQ. Your NASDAQ today, semiconductors are up 1.78%. Pre-market, 1.8 right now. Technology is almost up 1%. Okay, we have NVIDIA's earnings this week. Trump revealed a lot of semiconductor purchases. Okay, who knows what happens with this, but your level to look at is 293. 293 is ultimate balance. Most traded price of the month and of the week. Does the market accept price above or below it? Remember, we also have that daily supply. I think it's going to be a tough road to go higher. anything can happen. Same thing, got a crowded trade below in the overnights, in the lows of the overnights. There's a lot of crowded trading. Generally, if the market kind of makes its way down there, it should have problems. It shouldn't rip it apart unless some news comes out. So it's Monday. Okay, hope you enjoyed that analysis. Smash the like button if you did. Be much appreciated. As always, hope you join me. Set an alert. Subscribe. Do this every morning. Give you the market story, the economic calendar, the news, leaders and laggards, technical analysis, and I just gave you the long and short trade scenarios in the Nasdaq and the ES futures. Okay? If you want more in-depth coverage, you are going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Now, a little side note for everybody with that is every week, right, in my Discord, I give pre-market scenarios. Now, when I give them, right, it's pre-market, obviously, and I use my AI agent to help me. It reads from my transcript from my stream, right? And besides the meteoric rise where we had for a couple weeks where it was like there was no TA, the market was just ripping, right? I'm pretty accurate with my scenarios. Okay? Where you can see that is obviously in my daily receipts, but really in my performance. Now look at last week. Right? Even though for the week I was slightly down, every day my scenarios hit. Right? Even the week before, a lot of scenarios hit. Now what? Now it's 80. Look at 4 or 5 days with hits, even though it says check marks every day. But I'm tracking it. Now why am I tracking? I'm tracking it to prove that I know what I'm doing, right? And second is that I wanted to keep this data because my little AI agent keeps the data. And what I'm going to try to do is that sometimes my scenarios work like off the open. You don't even have a chance to be like, let me set my risk, let me see, and next thing you know, boom, scenario hit, and I'm just like, wow. Or you're looking at it, no news comes out, and next thing you know, your scenario works, and I'm just like, how do I trade that? Right? But this keeps happening over and over again. Scenarios hit, but like my normal model of trading, I don't really have an entry. So I'm working on coming up with some type of system, either would be with options or just playing the scenario with a wider risk. So that I'm just letting you guys know that because my scenarios, I don't claim to be the best trader, right? I will put my TA against anybody though. And TA is just not support and resistance where it's basic. Actually how the market's moving. Okay? I'll put it up against anybody. But the most important thing is sometimes it's frustrating to see scenarios hit and then I have a slightly, very small negative week. But if I just blindly played my scenarios, I would have hit. So just letting you guys know that. All right, I'm working on that. I'm going to be coming up with a system to try to take advantage of that accuracy. But with that being said, all right, we have our game plan for today. It's Monday. Okay, let's see what happens today. NVDA earnings this week. Bond markets have been shaken. Maybe there's a truce coming. Who knows? We know that this has happened multiple times without no solution. So, everybody, remember, no trade's a trade. I hope everybody has a great day. All right. And if I see you in my room, I should be going live around 9:45. If I see you in my room, please ask questions. All right. If I don't, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning.